you have any correction corners this week?
No, because I'm saving my correction corners to talk more about ragtime next week.
Do you want to do a correction corner now of the hour that you just did?
Yeah. Yes. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think I had a correction corner from last week.
I didn't either. Which either means we're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Or we've not discovered our mistakes from that episode.
Yeah, we need to hire interns to fact check us. Hello.
I'm doing Hello, Dolly. All right. So, what's Hello, Dolly? It's a musical based on The Matchmaker by Thornton Wilder, with music and lyrics by Jerry Herman, a book by Michael Stewart. It's the story of a middle-aged widow. I just do not have the manic enthusiasm that you did for yours. As I go into this, I'm sorry. This is going to be like from, I'm like, I don't know. I feel, so I'm going to say, let me tell you the research I did for this, because it was the most research I've done for any of them so far.
Amazing.
I went to the public library this time, and not with you, even though you said you'd go with me.
I know, I was in Connecticut. That was another time.
I went there, and it was just as good as I remembered, but this time I had a reason to go to the special section stuff, and I went and I got all the someone had just like taken clippings of newspaper articles about Hello Dolly throughout history, and they're just in a folder, and they are all mixed up and mashed up. Some were like from like an Illinois newspaper, and they mailed it in like, this is about Hello Dolly, put it in the Dolly folder. And then I'm there, and I'm sitting with those researchers who are, no joke, one of which has to have a white glove on while he's handling photos, you know?
Yes.
Meanwhile, I watch one have a meltdown, an absolute meltdown. You said the boxes were going back on the 13th. That's in 4 days. I know I already came and saw them, but now only one of the boxes is there and 3 are missing.
To the other researcher?
No, to the people that work there.
Oh, okay.
To the poor people that work there that are just like, it's a big old library, and I'm sorry somebody moved these boxes that one time because they thought you were done with them. They will turn back up when they get back to that facility, and then we can bring them back. But that was fucking freaking him out. And then this other woman who was being an absolute bitch to them. She was just like screaming at them about stuff. And I just wanted to say, do you understand how unimportant whatever you're talking about is?
Ma'am, my problem. I promise you're not important.
Yes. The answer was always like, go to the 5th floor or something like that. I don't know. These researchers, get your shit together, people. Okay, so it's the story of a middle-aged widow named Dolly who was hired to find a wife for a mean old daddy in Yonkers named Horace Vandergelder. She arranged a date for him in New York, and his 2 store employees, Barnaby and Cornelius, decide to close up the shop and sneak away, also to New York. Which seems like they're setting up hijinks, right? Turns out Dolly has had the scheme all along to make Horace marry her. There is farce. Okay, as the 2 guys run into him in a hat shop owned by Irene Malloy and her assistant Minnie Fay, the boys fall for those women and take them on a date. There's also nonsense about his niece wanting to marry an artist, and it's stupid, and I wish they'd cut it. There's this big mix-up, and they all end up in court, but it's okay, and they all get married in the end. Happy ending.
God, I need you to write my synopses for my shows.
Oh, you mean the ones where I just like write as much as I feel like writing on the subway and then go, and this part's stupid, and then it's over. All right, so this show is actually a pretty old one. It actually doesn't just originate with The Matchmaker by Thornton Wilder. That's the direct adaptation that's going on. But this story originated in an 1835 English play called A Day Well Spent by John Oxenford, which Johann Nestroy, you know? No, I don't either.
No.
Adapted into the farce Einen Jux will sich machen.
That was my original Equity name, actually.
So, right, but it's not unique. Somebody's already done it.
Yeah. Shit.
Johann Nestroy did it.
I can't believe read then.
Thornton Wilder then adapted Nestroy's play into his 1938 farcical play, The Merchant of Yonkers.
Oh, I see.
Not even The Matchmaker, but the same guy. That play was a flop, but he revised it and retitled it as The Matchmaker in 1955, expanding the role of Dolly, who was played by Ruth Gordon, directed by Tyrone Guthrie, who I believe is from like the Guthrie Playhouse.
Oh.
I believe. How many Guthries can there be?
How many?
And it was produced by David Merrick, right?
Oh.
He produced The Matchmaker on Broadway. And it was a big hit for a play, which I think means at least 100 people saw it. And made into a 1958 film starring Shirley Booth, Shirley MacLaine, and Anthony Perkins. Which I don't know why we're not watching that movie more often then.
Yeah, that's
Those people are great.
Cast.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go sit down and watch this. In 1961, David Merrick he had this idea to turn it into a musical, and he signed Michael Stewart to be the book writer. Stewart actually suggested Jerry Herman as the songwriter, and David Merrick was like, the guy that just did Milk and Honey, that ethnic operetta, he can't do Americana. Although I'm sure he said it much meaner than that, because they called him the Abominable Showman.
Oh,
I
do love a pun.
Oh, I thought you knew that. Anyway, so Jerry Herman was like, I want this job. And just like Lynn Flaherty and Aaron's royalty. Aaron's a
Flaherty.
What were we
Lynn
saying?
Aaron's and Stephen Flaherty.
Flaherty?
Flaherty, yeah.
Flames from the side of my face.
Flames.
He was like, fuck it, I'm an established person. I've just written this ethnic operetta, and even so, I will audition for you by writing some songs. There were no cassettes for them to be played on, so he just wrote them.
Victrola.
3 days. In 3 days, he writes Victrola. Is that your drag king name? Victrola?
Victrola and Victoria. Victrola Victoria.
Victrola Victoria. So in 3 days he writes, Call on Dolly and I Put My Hand in There, Put on Your Sunday Clothes, Hello Dolly, and I Still Loved the Love That I Loved, which is essentially an early version of Ribbons Down My Back.
3 days?
3 days. And I know he's gay, but this was before meth. There might have been...
That's the realest thing you've ever said.
Oh, sorry. Have I not been real before now? I feel like I have been.
No, it's just great. This brought to you by CMA.
He got the job. He gets the job because Merrick was like, wow, you're Manic, and I'm Merrick. Let's do it. And he was told that Ethel Merman was going to star in it. So he starts writing the score with Ethel Merman's voice in his head. It's also in her head. Everyone's got Ethel Merman's voice in their head. But she said that she didn't want to perform anymore, and she bows out of it. Because she spent her whole life in dressing rooms, she says. And you know what? I believe that.
Yeah.
Like, that is kind of tough. If you wanted to have a real life everything, your whole life is at night. Hey, people that ever got work performing, what's it like?
Yeah, tell us.
So at this point, they have no star, but they also have no director. So they start looking for a director. They asked Jerome Robbins, and he was like, and then they asked Joshua Logan.
This is not a visual medium.
Okay, but...
Just describe your own face that you just made.
They asked Joshua Logan, they asked Joe Layton. And they asked, well, I tried to write Hal Prince, but clearly didn't notice that autocorrect changed it to Happy Prince.
Ooh,
they
like
asked
that.
the Happy Prince. But they asked the Happy Prince, but they all turned it down. Hal Prince said, quote, I didn't care for the score, especially the song Hello Dolly. I couldn't for the life of me see why those waiters were singing about how glad they were to have her back when she belonged, when she's never been there in the first place. Which must have been an earlier version where she'd never been there, because the whole point is she used to go there.
Yeah.
Maybe Hal Prince was just like, I skimmed it and it didn't make sense. I mean, I didn't pick up on all of the things that were written, but what I did didn't go together. Gower Champion, however, had just had a big success with Carnival, which is funny because that show's disappeared, right?
Yeah, that would be great. They haven't done a revival of that in...
I don't think they ever have.
Ever? Did they never? Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I think people think it's Carousel.
Yeah.
So he had but evidently it was a big hit in its day, and he started doing some movies and plays, and he was, fun fact, working with Alan J. Lerner and Richard Rodgers on I Picked a Daisy, which eventually became On a Clear Day You Can See Forever when Richard Rodgers was replaced by Burton Lane.
We just burped in tandem.
Did we just...
Beautiful, yeah.
That was a little jalapeno-y. But it was going nowhere, so he was like, your show sucks, I'm off this. I'm going to go sign on to Dolly in 1963. They start looking for Dolly. They start looking for the store. Ruth Gordon, who had played Dolly in The Matchmaker on Broadway, also produced by David Merrick, expected to be asked to, if not take the part, at least audition for it. She's never called. And so, fun fact, later when the show opens, she comes in an outfit that's essentially very similar to Dolly's at Harmonia Gardens, sits in the front row center.
With the hat? With like a big hat blocking everyone behind
Oh,
her?
I don't know, but like, I hope so. Because I watched a lot of footage of this show. The hat that Carol Channing wears in the finale when she's all in white is as big as a person.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's a way to make a statement. She's like, fuck that second row's view.
Because it's their fault, right?
That's amazing. I wish
Wait,
more.
and she
We gotta
sits
find
there-
other fun shows like Cats. What if someone came like Grisabella front row?
They never even asked me to audition for this show, and they're like, who are you again?
Sir,
I have a podcast.
I did Cats. My first show.
There was the first episode. I had to read about Andrew Lloyd Webber's penis. And so she sits there in the front row glaring at the stage in cold protest, never applauding once.
What? Well, that's salty.
It is, right?
Like, at least, come on now, applaud.
It's not the actors' faults.
I know, I was with her until that.
Well, so then Merrick gets this idea to cast Carol Channing. And so Carol Channing becomes this story. Like, it's so much about her, and like Dolly is essentially her. And I read her memoirs, What I Could. They're nuts. They're not
I mean, I imagine, so.
It's one of those things where, like, you can clearly tell that she was just like, oh, let me tell you about the Kennedys, and then talks about the Kennedys. Oh, let me tell you about Clint Eastwood, and the Clint Eastwood. And then whoever was ghostwriting it was like, how do I make a story out of this random nonsense? There is even at one point an asterisk to a footnote that makes no sense. It says, Thornton Wilder thought he wrote a comedy, in parentheses, I have a bitch side too. What? I'm like, is this not a comedy? Are we all in trouble for laughing at Hello Dolly? Is that bad? Good for you and your bitch side. Oh, she also uses the phrase somewhere, something about quivering clitorises. Yes.
Oh, that was my first equity name.
I believe that was my AOL screen name.
Oh.
It attracted a lot of men. They were not interested after I sent a photo that I had scanned at Kinko's, because that's how you did it, because we didn't have digital cameras back then. Anyway, about back then, 1963, Merrick has the idea to cast Carol Channing. Oh, and so I'm looking at all these pictures of Carol Channing. She went through this phase where she was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. So cute. She's got a look like nobody else.
I know, and she chased that look.
She did chase that look. She should have
like-
figured out what her elderly look was a little bit sooner. Anyway, so, but Gower Champion is opposed to it, which is awkward because he and Carol are actually friends.
Ooh, Kevin's got a hot... That looks like...
Oh my god!
That, like, from here looks like Gwyneth Paltrow going like...
It's Gwyneth Paltrow, played by a dude.
Kevin's gonna post it on our Instagram. It'll be glorious.
Trying to get something out of her teeth with her tongue. So they go off to see her in this play on Long Island called The Millionaires, where she plays, in her words, a horsey British woman. I don't know what that means, but I want to. Don't you want to know what a horsey woman is? That just means she's got big teeth or something? Anyway, so both Merrick and Gower, I'm going to be calling some people by their last name and some by their first.
It's fine.
Because I feel very close to both Gower and Carol because I've read the books about them and I didn't read books about other people. And so in their books, they're referring to themselves, of course, by their first names and everyone else.
Oh, I
mostly
like this.
by
I like
Merrick.
this.
Yeah, that's why it's Mother, Father, Tata, Carol, Gower. Connie and Ted. But anyway, so they both see her as this horsey British woman, and they agree, wrong person, never mind, Carol Channing is not going to be in Hello Dolly. She's in Dolly Levi. So Gower calls to tell her this, and she wouldn't take no for an answer. She said, make me read for it. Let me read for it. Oh. Let me read for it. And so
I loved your reading of those lines, actually, that you just did.
Really? Even the first one where I said, make me read for it, instead of let me read for it.
Make them hear you.
me read it. Bite me, make me bleed. So they meet at the theater across from Merrick's office on the set of Oliver, which has an exclamation point at the end of it, just like Hello Dolly does.
Oh.
Just like OK does.
What else does?
Cats? No.
Oh.
But were we talking about one? There was something that had an exclamation point in it and they took it off. Like,
Is it on the town?
No, it's not on the town.
Oh. Titanic! I don't know. Oh, by the way, maybe we should write now.
110 in the shade!
Come from away! That's about 9/11. That's tasteless, Caitlin. So Channing's reading from the Matchmaker because they don't have a book yet. They don't actually have a show, so she's reading from the show that the show's going to be based on. And she's reading with the stage manager, who's always probably really acting it. She was reading her longer monologues out to the audience instead of to the stage manager, which she believes is what Wilder always meant in his plays. She evidently, either she's justifying the way she did everything now.
Sure.
Or she actually had this theory about how Wilder believes things should be performed. And she gets
break that fourth wall. Girl.
Break the fourth wall.
Break it down.
And because she says that, like, the reason why, maybe it was Thornton Wilder said that the reason why people like musicals more than plays is because the audience is being sung to instead of being ignored. In a lot of plays, but not the experimental ones that we did at NYU before I dropped out, you're not looking at the audience. I mean, you haven't even brought...
You're turning around. You're doing viewpoints into the wings.
You bring down a giant mirror in front of them that has the word slave written on it and say, who's the real slave?
Wait, did you see Slave Play? Is this what you're referencing?
No, I'm referencing an American Dad episode about Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Well,
Does that happen?
Guys...
Is that a spoiler?
I mean, because it's like a mirrored set. It's called Slave Play, and go see it for yourself.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because then people would have thought I was making fun of slave play, and I'm not. I have not seen it.
Okay, but you are within your right to make fun of slave play. And if anybody wants to come for me. I would love to have a dialogue about slave play.
We have hundreds of listeners.
Yeah, like if any of you hundreds of not Google bots.
And I've looked to see like the distribution demographically of where they are around the world. U.S.
Wow, our niche there. That's great. I should have been like Bangladesh. Bangladesh fucking loves this podcast.
Sri Lanka can't get enough. Our niche sounds like a really good name for a girl. Anyway, she gets to the money speech, right?
Sounds like a good name for our niece.
Are we related now? I'm sorry, I'm the worst at this improv because I'm always like, what choice did you just make that I'm judging now? She gets to the money speech and she has that line, money, you must pardon the expression, is like manure. It isn't worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Which is a pretty cute line, right?
Okay, that's cute.
And she had the part. And she got it.
Well,
I got it.
You can't use that tape.
That broke the mic.
Sorry, that was he yelled, Kevin. I didn't do it.
You're not to scream directly into
I'm not, though. I put it over there. Is it helping?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Guys, I've just been on Reddit, so I don't really know what I'm doing.
Kevin keeps taking notes, but I don't know what they are. They could be about something else. It could be a grocery list over there.
He's just writing SOS and trying to flag it out the window. They trapped me in here for hours talking about ragtime.
Yeah, Caitlin's wife gets to go to Connecticut or something else. She's staying at home. Well, poor Will's husband has to be stuck here dealing with musicals. Although, to be fair, Kevin likes Hello Dolly.
It's a great musical.
It is about Hello Dolly. So Carol says that what she did that blew Gower's mind was that she made it funny. Evidently, he was thinking of it as being kind of heavy, and she was like, "No, this woman's funny. She's actually very funny." And so then here's a quote from Jerry Herman. I knew she couldn't sing half the songs I had written because he had written them for Ethel Merman. But it didn't bother me because she had a distinctive comedic presence, for real. I also knew that it would be a very different show from the one I started out writing. Frankly, it turned out to be a more distinctive show than it would have been with Merman. So, I'll buy that too, because I bet Carol Channing was probably a lot more interesting in rehearsal than Ethel Merman would have been. She would have just put the $5 inside the swear jar and said, I'm...
Call me Miss Birdseye, but this show's frozen.
There you go. She's got her catchphrases and she sticks to them, at least in the way we describe her. And so then here's a quote from Carol about Jerry Herman. I sing lower than most of the men in your show. So Ethel's got all these high C's that he's writing for. He's bringing it all down for Carol, which is true. Remember when we were working on I Put My Hand in There? Because, spoiler alert, people out there, if you can't see, because this isn't a visual medium, that song is disgusting if you think about it being a hand in a vagina.
Yeah, which you shouldn't think of any other way. And now that you've thought about it for a second,
we'll ruin it. And now you'll every production you're going to go to of Hello Dolly, you're going to be like, man, I wish they used the opening from the movie instead.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, see? I like that song a lot.
I meddle.
Right. So, but if you look at the sheet music for that, I remember we were doing it, we had to bring it up like a sixth.
Yeah.
So Jerry ended up cutting songs that Carol couldn't sing. He was like, this song is too belty belt. It's out. But, by the way, Ethel Merman eventually did do the show on Broadway, and they put 2 of those songs back in.
Oh, great.
Just for her. Okay, so Gower begins looking for Horace. He looked at Art Carney, he looked at Bert Lahr, but he ended up choosing this guy, Davy Burns, who was Mayor Shin in Music Man and Senex in Forum. Like Carol, everyone called him dangerous. They said you never knew what he was going to say, and he was very spontaneous.
Ooh.
Kind of comedic actor. He took the part, and he didn't want the part. And he was trying to get out of it, and so his agent was like, he told his agent, like, tell them I need more money. And so then they'd be like, great, you can have more money. And he's like, well then, tell them I have to have the closer of Act 1. That song has to be mine. So, okay, great, we'll write you an Act 1 closer. Well, tell them that I have to have like 1% of the profits. And they were like, fine, just do the show.
Oh my God.
And at that point he was like, maybe that's a good deal and I should do it.
Wow, his estate must just be crushing it then.
Which always makes me think of a giant house surrounded by a lot of land.
That's fine.
The Biltmore estate.
You can buy those now.
Yeah. You buy Biltmore. So he took the part under the expectation that he's going to get this Act 1 closer and all that good stuff. Charles Nelson Riley was Cornelius Hackle. You know Charles Nelson Riley, the hilarious guy from like Match Game.
Oh, yeah.
Not Paul Lynde, but the other gay one. The one that had... That's not the way he talks. But I'm just trying to show my glasses.
Dads, please.
My impression of Charles Nelson Riley is really just a terrifying old man.
It's amazing.
I have a note here underneath it. He's also a comedic actor. Okay? Eileen...
The FUBU of his... my notes.
He was the FUBU of his generation. Eileen Brennan got cast as Irene Malloy, his lover. Now, Brennan, I know, and hopefully you know, from Private Benjamin. She played the bitch sergeant.
Of course.
And Clue, where she's Mrs. Peacock.
Oh, well, definitely.
Yeah.
We already referenced Clue once this episode.
And when?
Flames.
Fire,
heat.
Which was also a musical. I have the score to it. And script. And The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking, which is yet another story of a redheaded girl that won't shut up, just like Dolly Levi. She's another Annie Pippi of Green Gables. This is what happens when they grow up. I don't know why they bother me so much, because I'm big fans of all of the things that they're in. She was a madcap comedian. The people that played Minnie and Barnaby were also like very funny comedians. So they're getting all these wacky actors to do this stuff. Gower originally said that he wanted it to be this like intimate show, but then he put a train on stage. At this point, the show is called Dolly, a damned exasperating woman. Rehearsal begins with Hello Dolly and the Waiter's Gallop. They work on those 2 numbers, right? For 2 weeks.
Oh.
Out of the 7 that they have.
Oh no.
Yeah, their time management, not so good. The idea being that Hello Dolly was a topper to Waiter's Gallop. So Waiter's Gallop is like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. And then Hello Dolly starts and they go, hi, this a man, like even better than, that people were stupefied, absolutely stupefied. Well, actually, during Hello Dolly, a man died. And they covered him up so that people wouldn't see him through that number. And then in another...
Whoa! what? You're not allowed to breeze past that. Who? Somebody in the audience?
Yeah, someone in
died?
the audience died once during that number, and then in another one, a guy died.
And they just were like, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't leave the theater, even if you die." Like what?
Well, I mean, what's the harm at that point? You know? You don't want to.
It's amazing.
You don't want to make. I believe. We can go pull it from the book that I was reading, but I think they said they put a trench coat over him.
Oh my God.
And then another person had a heart attack during Act 2, and while he's on the floor, and by then I believe a heart attack was kind of a death sentence, his wife goes, "They haven't started that Hello Dolly song, have they?" Yeah. Yeah, which is just reminds me of was it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when the woman's husband has been kidnapped and the kidnappers call and the ransom that they want is her and it's like and they go we know what the ransom is and she goes whatever they want they can have it, I just want my Harold back, and then he goes they want your case of Wonka bars, and she goes what, how much time do I have to think about it,
I would love this woman describing to her friends how was the show? Oh,
Well,
well, it was great. Tim had to fucking have a heart attack.
I missed the big number. That's the one that's the title. That's everything. How'd they do that?
Did she say hello back? Never know.
Yeah. Now, how does the conversation go? Is Louis? I almost said is Louis Anderson playing his trumpet, but that's a different person. Louis Anderson is the guy in Baskets. Who is killing it in Baskets?
Oh, Baskets.
You can
not just in Baskets.
Not just in Baskets, but that's what he's doing now.
Yeah,
you can skip to season 3. Season 1 and 2, they're still figuring it out, like many TV shows do.
Oh, I thought it was good though. Still, I mean, crazy, but
yeah, but
good.
now that they're in 3 and 4, they figured out their groove. Karen Kilgariff is writing for it, loving it. Anyway, about Hello Dolly. So for Hello Dolly, no music had been written for that intro. So they had Peter Howard improvise or Phil Lang improvise, depending on which book I was reading. I'm going to go with Peter Howard because Peter Howard did the dance arrangements for this and many other things. And I met him at a party in Palm Beach, which makes me sound like I was fancy. I was hired to play the piano at that party in Palm Beach.
That's fancy?
No, I was hired is the wrong word. They made a donation to my high school, and some of us had to go play.
Oh, okay, that's different. Yeah.
And somebody came in and said, "Oh my God, the guy that wrote Chicago is here." And I'm like, "Fred Ebb is here? John Kander is here?" And then we get there, and he's like, "No, I did dance arrangements for a lot of other shows." And then the other kids were just like, "Okay, I'm going to try to find a way to walk away now." But no, that's amazing. He did dance arrangements for things that are amazing.
Yeah, sure, that's amazing.
And he made that burlesque music, that at the beginning of the Hello Dolly song. And then somebody evidently in rehearsal was like, "But burlesque music didn't exist in 19 whatever." And then Gower Champion said, "It's what Dolly and the waiters hear in their head," which is not profound, but shut me up in a rehearsal. Anyway, so then they were working on Sunday Clothes. It's all about visuals. So in addition to these very extravagant costumes that they have, Gower Champion's working in colors, and he had the actors have a swatch of fabric with the fabric that their costume was pinned to their clothes in rehearsal, so he could direct them as a rainbow and put hot. I want hot colors now. I want cool colors now. I want you all in rainbow order now, sort of thing.
Love that.
Evidently, it was really cool to look at. Okay, and then for Ribbons Down My Back, he had Brennan face the audience like it. I wrote like it were a mirror. No, I'm just going to say, now this is not me shitting on the living. This is me just saying which parts of Hello Dolly are my favorites and which ones are not.
Okay.
Ribbons Down My Back, I do not like. Ribbons Down My Back is my
really?
least favorite song in Hello Dolly.
Okay. I kind of like it.
I don't know why I don't like it.
Did you see the most recent revival?
Yes, and I will say that Kate Baldwin, who sings it on the album
she's
there,
amazing.
no one has ever sung it better than she sings it.
I just was like, I remember thinking okay, I liked this, and she just, she knocked that part out of the fucking park.
Regardless, I think it's just some song that makes almost no sense. But that lyric of "I'll be wearing ribbons down my back" is actually a line from Wilder's play, just like you were talking about with their source material in Ragtime. It's really the same story. I can blow things up. Jism, Dolly. So then there's that eating scene, right, where Dolly and Horace are eating together, and she goes, "You go your way, and I'll go mine," you know? And here, have some beets and all that shit. They're very good for you. And or in the movie, I think at least. I don't know if they do that in the play. I can't remember. Here, let me cut your wings for you, Horace. I don't want my wings cut. No man does, Horace. No man does. From the show. Anyway, so they worked that out by themselves. They got like no direction on it. He was like, "You two are fucking nuts. Why don't you go back to the hotel, order some room service, and figure out how this scene goes?"
Oh, I love that.
Right? And so the dumplings thing was their idea. And because remember, she eats a shit ton of dumplings. They describe it as scores of dumplings.
Yeah.
Which means at least 40.
Yeah, well,
do you know what?
4 score.
And 7 dumplings.
Years ago.
That's a lot of dumplings. That's Roman numerals, right? Anyway, so they were using cotton candy balls that were made out of white and brown sugar so that they looked like dumplings. They say that to me, but I don't know what a dumpling looks like because they just look like little balls in the production that I saw.
Really? You don't know what dumplings look like? Vegans don't have these
No,
things?
I'm just saying like the word dumpling means many different things. There's dumplings from chicken and dumplings. There's dumplings from Chinese food.
That's what I was always imagining the dumplings to be.
Well, but then don't you remember the revival that we saw? They were like the size of mini marshmallows.
Yeah.
Well, so it was cotton candy, and that's why she was able to eat so many of them. Brilliant, right?
That is smart.
So she got hypoglycemia.
Oh, no.
That became an issue. So then what they decided to do was to take Kleenex that they would like wet over a tiny light bulb and then like take the light bulb out of it so it still held its shape. And then put like a couple drops of tea on it so it would be a little bit brown, like evidently a dumpling is, I don't know. And then she would eat a ton of these
Kleenex?
Essentially empty Kleenex balls, and then take her napkin to like wipe her mouth, but spit it out.
Okay, I was going to say, because that's an old dancer's trick. Like, I know a few girls that ate fucking Kleenex and cotton balls.
Funny you should mention that. Carol really fancies herself as a classical dancer because of all the ballet training she did. Every description of her by someone else says she moved well.
I gotta read this biography.
She's got a part that she goes, and whatever Gower asked me to do, I did. If he asked for 4th position, I gave him 4th position. Not 5th, not 3rd, 4th. And I'm like, you mean not these things that are radically different than 4th? These things that could not possibly, I mean, if you were like, if he asked for 3rd, I gave him 3rd, not 5th, then I'd be like, yeah, I got you there.
Just a few inches, that's fine.
I mean, a few inches makes a big difference.
What was the clitoris one? Clitoris.
Quivering clitorises.
Quivering clitorises, Will? Woo! That's a spell.
I'll be honest, I spent the entire ride home from work today trying to find where she said that in the book, and I couldn't. I even searched on the internet for other people being like, can you believe fucking page 110 when she says quivering clitorises?
What kind of search results did you get for that?
Oh, yeah.
Carol Channing clitorises is the one I searched for. I did that in an incognito window, I'll tell you that much. I do not want to start getting ads for Carol Channing's clitorises. Which, by the way, aren't even real clitorises. They're tissue. Dyed to look like clitorises.
Hypoglycemia.
Anyway, so then there was this horse. And...
ultimate segue in this show.
I'm not trying as hard as you are. You're trying to make connections between whatever I said, and you'd be like, yes, falafel, just like Tata. Anyway.
So anyways, there's this horse. I'm so glad you brought it up.
Anyway, okay. I don't know whose quote this is, unfortunately. It says, Mike and I were having a hamburger somewhere. I don't know who Mike is. Oh, Michael Stewart. Probably Michael Stewart. When Gower hit us with his idea. So it's not Gower Champion either. I bet it's Jerry Herman. Mike and I were having a hamburger somewhere near the rehearsal studio when Gower hit us with his idea. I'm thinking of opening the show by having a horse pull Dolly's carriage on stage, he said. Only I want it to be a goofy-looking horse with 2 showgirls hidden inside. I don't know how to be any clearer, Caitlin. Do you want me to spell it out for you? It's a Trojan
yeah,
horse.
like a Trojan horse full of
But
vaudeville gals.
Yeah, like those giant cakes from the 30s. But you
Great. I love
don't
this
use
guy.
a real knife on that cake. There's a showgirl inside. And in this case, too. So when you're going to cut that horse up for dinner, Mr. French person, be careful. No. So it was that whole thing of like, I'm the butt and you're the front. But you looked and it was like cute legs and they were doing things. It was like, sometimes Milky
cute.
White's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's in the summer stock production, like Milky's track.
Yeah, you've got like, oh, well, these people, they're not really very good. We got to put them in something. Oh, these 3 people can be Milky White. Oh, who says a horse has to have 4 legs? Give him 6. So then there's Ernestina, the hoochie coochie girl, who was played by, this is a fun fact, Mary Jo Cartlett, who you know from a lot of 80s television, and she was a housekeeper on Different Strokes, and she was Mrs. Puff on SpongeBob.
Oh.
I
know her later work.
You know her voice instantly. Like, nobody else sounds like her. And I know her face. When I heard Mrs. Puff, I knew exactly who it was from Different Strokes. Okay, so near the end of rehearsal, the overture was replaced with a prologue, where Dolly gives a stereopticon slide tour of old New York with ads for her specialties like fresh Jersey eggs and handwriting analyzed. So rather than getting on to the show, they add a whole scene with her doing a slideshow in a parlor for rando women with ads. I don't. This feels very tech. I mean, they're putting ads in everything now.
Yeah, it's experiential marketing for sure.
Penny in My Pocket. You know that song that was added that they put back into the
it was in the revival. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was David Burns' Act 1 closer.
Oh. Yeah, I was like, why the fuck are we sitting through this? So thanks a lot, David Burns.
Oh, when you saw it this time?
Yeah.
Evidently, somebody described it in a review as being David Hyde Pierce's reward. Because he's very good in it. But the part is diminished. Horace is not as big as Dolly. But you get a star.
Correct. Yeah, you get a star like that and you're like, just give him a fucking bone.
But so this is how they stage it. So he's saying his thing about like, I took my money, invested in it, I'm so smart, I'm so good with money, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, the whole chorus of men is stacking up items that Dolly has bought on his credit account until there's a huge pyramid of shit behind him of all the stuff that he's bought. So that was that's not a dichotomy. That's the ironic juxtaposition that was going on there. NYU. Okay, so that's.
But I wasn't saving girls from shirt-tail fires.
No, I wasn't, and I wouldn't, and I won't.
Oh, it's just. The true feminist movement has let them take care of it themselves. That's
right. I'm not going to explain to them how to stay alive. So then they open. Yeah. Well, you know what? Caitlin, it's good that you know that for yourself. That's equity. Anyway, Carol Channing often said that she wanted to lie on the equity cart. And she was pulled in a horse cart. It all goes together. They opened in Detroit, and it was really rough. Here's the headlines of the reviews. Hello, Dolly. That's good. Insipid, but cast does well.
Oh. Dolly
has moments, but they're not all good.
Oh, no.
And my favorite one, goodbye, Dolly.
Oh.
That's not
they
even...
They walked into that one.
They did. You're going to have words in your title? Come on. Yeah. Then you're just inviting.
Come on.
You're just inviting these issues. So they were like, maybe we should rethink this. And so Gower Champion's like, we have 4 great numbers. Sunday Clothes, dancing, put your hand in your hand like this. The Waiters Gallop and Hello Dolly. And then evidently the rest of the show died around them. So they start cutting characters. Evidently there were all these characters from the Thornton Wilder version, which was very farcical and had a lot of people in it. They cut them. So Imagine Ragtime opens in...
Toronto.
Right. Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, somewhere in Canada. And they're... Because Toronto's like the New York of...
Sure.
Yeah. This show is opening in...
The Yonkers of Toronto.
Yeah, what's the Yonkers of Toronto?
Yoronto.
Yeah. No, wait.
Yoronto.
Tonkers. where
Taronkers.
they're not selling drinks at the concession stand, just bags of milk. It opens there and they're like, oh boy, this is doing bad. Let's start cutting characters from ragtime, right? Can you imagine? Can you?
You don't want to see me imagining that. You know what an opus I feel that show is.
Yes. Caitlin, nobody disagrees with you on that one.
It's fair.
Anyway, so they start trying to figure out, they write new songs over and over again, write new scenes over and over again, and Merrick comes, and he is a bitch. The abominable showman comes and is horrendously mean to them and yells at everyone, is like, I'm ashamed of these songs. And that is the most disheveled piece of shit that I've, like, it's just terrible stuff. And so he just had a flop. The Irresistible Rise of Arturo Ui, which you just saw at Classic Stage Company. I couldn't because I had to work. I was earning pay. So Kevin went to the entertainment theater by himself.
Salty bitch. Kevin, I believe in you. Kevin earns pay.
I do.
I didn't say he didn't. Why are you bringing that up?
Projection.
Well, but that was with Raul Esparza, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was great.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
So
So good.
Caitlin,
Gosh.
you're stealing my time. This is my time on the show, and you're dropping the jewelry that I've given you.
Edit me, Kevin.
I'm writing it down right now.
Kevin doesn't do the editing. I do.
Will edit me.
No, I only edit the parts where I'm not funny. I leave in the ones where you're not funny.
Oh, that's that my mute episode. Yeah, it was great. Anything else? No.
So he just had this flop, and so he's really, really freaking out about his finances, and he's like, oh, and this Dolly thing's a flop too, and he's mad. He comes and rips them apart. He threatens to close the show. And Gower's like, okay, well, I'll buy you out. And then Merrick was like, oh, I forgot you were a part producer on this. And he was like, I don't like the idea of you doing this without me. I'll let it play. But you get better at it. So Merrick calls Bob Merrill, who wrote the score for Carnival and was working on the lyrics for Funny Girl. And those are some great lyrics. Honestly, I think that's Bob Merrill's best work is the lyrics for Funny Girl. To come fix the score. And Merrill's like, come fix somebody else's score? No, I'm not going to come right for somebody else's score on the road. And Merrick says, but both Jerry and Gower need you and want you to come.
Oh, no.
And so when Jerry Herman saw Bob Merrill in the lobby of the Detroit Park Sheraton Hotel, he turned ashen, and Merrill knew at once that Merrick had lied to him.
Oh. Was he dressed as Dolly? Like the fucking actress that didn't.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, Mike explaining a joke from 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no. I was like, well, is she referencing Sheraton's? What is she referencing here? Yeah, so now let's deal with Merrill and the score. So people say things like, okay, so what in the show is written by Jerry Herman and what's written by somebody else now? Stop it, Caitlin. Stop.
Sorry.
People are always accusing Jerry Herman of not having written the show, essentially, because Bob Merrill was called in to do all this work. So here's a quote from Herman explaining, he says definitively what the deal is. He says, the truth is, Bob Merrill did not want to interfere with my work, which kind of sounds like what they're describing in the other place. He started off by saying, I really don't like being in this position because I love the stuff you've done. If you believe we need a song to open the second act, we'll just write one together. I have an idea and I'm going to give you a little bit of it, and if you like it, you write the rest. And he wrote, hey, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius. And he stretched out Cornelius instead of Cornelius, which is how they had been saying the name, with a Y. Then he wrote, all the guests of Mr. Hackler feeling great and look spectacular. And then Jerry Herman goes, I would never write that. I would never syllableize a name to get a rhyme or twist a word to make it fit, especially since Cornelius doesn't talk that way in any other part of the musical. My rhymes have to be perfect, and my people always sing in the language that fits their character. It's a small point, but important to me. Bob gave the first 8 bars of elegance and those opening lines. Then he left me to write the rest of the song. So that explains it, doesn't it?
Wow.
So Bob Merrill planted the seeds of elegance. Jerry Herman wrote the rest and resented it. So another Merrill Herman song was Motherhood March. I stand for Mother America
okay.
and a hot lunch. And Carol Channing is the best person that ever recorded that because she at one point she goes, match, match, match. How are the levels on that, Kevin? I read a review of those two songs, a very specific review, just of those two songs, that said, a dispassionate look at Hello Dolly reveals that these two stylistic inconsistencies weaken the entire musical. Yes, the whole show is destroyed because of Elegance and Motherhood March. These two songs are the dullest spots in the score that is otherwise hit tune after hit tune.
Wow.
I disagree. I think Elegance is the shit. And evidently so does Charles Nelson Riley, who was in it, and says of Elegance, right away everyone knew that that was the way to go. When something is organically correct, you don't have to hover over it in rehearsal. Evidently they just went out there and did it with like 10 minutes of staging, and they were like, oh, this song is great. It fixed everything. So now a penny in my pocket is the Act 1 closer still. They've spent a huge amount of money and time on it. You know, they got all these props, building the thing. They've choreographed all the dancers doing it. And Gower was looking at it from the back of the house one night, and he was like, this doesn't work. We have to cut it. And they were like, the Act 1 closer is already a lot of work that we've put into it being the Act 1 closer. And he was like, we got to cut it. And they're like, and replace it with? And he's like, we'll figure it out.
Oh.
And so they noticed a line that Horace says about going to march in the 14th Street Parade. By the way, what occasion is that? What is that 14th Street Day?
Yeah, I think so.
Center of the universe. Merrick was mad at Herman at this time and called in other composers to come write this song. They called in Charles Strauss and Lee Adams, who wrote Bye Bye Birdie, to write the parade song. And they did. They wrote a parade song. And Gower hated it and threw it away. And to quote Herman, I remember it was late evening when I went to the piano in my room at the Park Sheraton Hotel. Boy, that's really a detail in a lot of these quotes I have. I gritted my teeth and repeated to myself, nobody's going to...
You fucking know.
I gritted my teeth and repeated to myself, nobody's going to write this moment in my show. And he writes, before the parade passes by. By the way,
Chick-a-day.
Where are these hotel rooms with pianos that no one minds if you're playing them at midnight?
Yeah, exactly. Especially before the parade. Like,
yeah. And so then he phones a sleeping Carol to come hear it. She is moved to tears.
Oh.
He teaches it to her, and they call Gower, who, according to Carol, comes down with his bathrobe open and his dick out. They rehearse it until... She didn't put it that way, but that's what she said. She said, it's a good thing he didn't run into any, like, young women in the elevator. Because then he'd never have come out of the elevator. They rehearse it until 3 a.m. Gower is like, we want new sets and props and costumes, and we're going to put a big parade on stage with Dolly in it. And I saw it. I saw, like, some footage of it. Boy, does it look tiny. But I guess back then, you know, they were used to crap. So a lot of people on stage was good enough for them. But this was the moment where they finally understood what the show was about. The show was about Dolly, and Dolly wanting to live for herself again instead of serving everyone else anymore. Which translation means she wanted to be rich. She wanted to be a rich biatch. And so that song, Before the Parade Passes By, ASCAP gives 50% of that royalty to Strauss and Adams because that's how Merrick said he'd pay them. Even though everything they wrote was thrown away, and then the whole song was rewritten again by Jerry Herman. Jerry Herman ain't bitter, though. He cool.
Well, that's good. He got his vindication.
Yeah. Oh, well, just like he did over Sondheim. Oh, I won't. He's still alive.
Teaser.
He's still alive. All the new revisions that they then had after that point were about Dolly. The focus of the show was now Dolly. They removed the stereo opticon tour and put in an overture. I don't know why I followed that. It's all about Dolly. And then they deleted a scene that had Dolly and put in an overture. You see? It all makes sense now. The new scenes and songs every day. Material would appear under the cast doors at 11:30 to be ready by matinee at 2:30. Ugh, that's tough. Because you also have to put on, you know, all your grease paint before the roar of the crowd. They had a stage manager in a barrel literally reading them lines. And he was 6'5". And he had...
Kevin? It was you.
he had a torch, as they say in England, a flashlight, so that he could read. And there would just be a long pause where she'd be like, well, Horace, yada, 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 yada. And then, yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. Like there were just these huge pauses for a while because they didn't know the show because it was changing every single day. And then something crazy happens that none of them saw coming. Louis Armstrong's Hello Dolly drops. Huge hit. Herman was surprised. He said in this great thing that I can't find from listening to it on NPR like maybe 20 years ago, where he said that he was surprised that Hello Dolly... Okay, so they make demos of shows with people singing it. Like, it was Rosemarie June, I think, was the woman that was singing a lot of these back then. They make these demos of scores and send them out to famous singers like Frank Sinatra and Rosemary Clooney and say, like, there's this new musical, here's the songs in it, none of them have been recorded yet, do any of them tickle your fancy? And he was positive that the big breakout hit from this show was going to be Ribbons Down My Back, which they recorded the demo of as like a cha-cha number. I'll be wearing ribbons down my back, cha-cha-cha-cha this summer.
That's cute.
And so he was floored when the number that became the big hit on the radio was Hello Dolly. He's like, my 1890s Valentine, that's stupid. That's the thing people want to record? Okay. And further emphasizes my point that it's better than Ribbons Down My Back. Meanwhile, craziest farcical twist of all time is that during all of this, JFK's head explodes all over his wife. Something just broke. And so
this is really a crossover episode with Assassins.
Yeah. And then they go to D.C. to open the show, and they're like, oh, great, we're going to go down to D.C. Right after the president's been assassinated. People are going to be in a great mood down there. So I wrote, and then they go to D.C. to open a show with a dancing horse while a horse is pulling John's father down the sidewalk salute. Audiences lost their shit for it, though. They loved it. And they wanted to be on the cover of Life. They wanted to put Carol Channing on the cover of Life. They worked it out with Life magazine. But General MacArthur got sick. And so everybody's like, oh, is General MacArthur going to die? If he dies, he's going to get the cover of Life, and Carol Channing's will be bumped, right? So Merrick made the entire cast and crew pray. He sent each of them to whatever church or temple that they had the loosest affiliation with, light all the candles, do all the things, nonstop prayer until 2 p.m. Friday when the cover would go to print and it would be too late to change it. And at 2:05, he was like, okay, everybody stop praying, let him die. Not a joke.
All right, get back to rehearsal.
Back to work. Kill the man. So they opened on Broadway after 2 previews, which is crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There was everything like lighting.
They're like, just get the guy out of the barrel and we're good to go.
Are we still doing the barrel thing? No? Ready to open. Universally acclaimed reviews, though. Everybody loved it. I mean, most of the critics raved, especially about Carol Channing, Champion's direction, and the joyousness of the music and lyrics. It won 10 Tonys, which was the most, tied with South Pacific, who also had 10, until 2001, when the producers got more. Sorry. Did you not know what I was asking you? I'm sorry.
I was like, for a second, I was like, did they do a revival of this in 2001 where it got another thing? I wasn't.
If they did, then they did it with Carol Channing. Gerard Alessandrini. Sorry.
Oh.
Ready? Start. 3, 2, 1. Gerard Alessandrini, who writes Forbidden Broadway and is a really, really nice guy. He wrote this song. It's called On Carol. She's the one producers recommend when you're producing Dolly, either Broadway or summer stock. She'll do Hello Dolly from 7 to 12 o'clock. Yeah, because she did revival after revival after revival of it. And they were worried, actually, originally whether or not she was going to stay past her 18th month contract. And she didn't. She went on tour for them. So she did. So honestly, I don't feel like that's a thing anymore, where the star
of it goes on tour.
Right? So she goes on, like,
she did that. Yul Brynner did that.
Yeah.
You know that, like, I'll save that for whenever I do The King and I.
Well, Yul Brynner had the most performances ever done in a show. at the award. And so Carol Channing was like, so he tells Carol Channing, if you cross 5,000, which is what he had hit, please don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. And she's like, I promise you, she cared a lot about other people. She's very nice about that. I promise you, I won't tell anybody. And she goes, in the documentary about her, which is pretty good, she goes, but he's dead now, and I can tell you, I way crossed 5,000. She has actually done the most performances, like, of anybody or something like that. Over 5,000 performances as Dolly. For decades.
Yeah, so I performed with Carol Channing. She came into Chicago. She was like doing it. So we did like a benefit thing, and we did Hello Carol, like instead of Hello Dolly. And I have a Carol Channing character shoe that I was like, you have to sign. And I was like, oh my God. And I took my character shoe off. I was like, will you sign this? And she's like, yes. And so
that was Liza.
I know. I can't when I say yes.
Yes. Are you okay?
I am done. That was the best Carol Channing ever.
I've never.
That's it. So I have a character shoe that was like a prized possession of mine, and it's like a fucking hot, like 1.5-inch character shoe. Like it's like so tiny.
And you limped home because you held that shoe in your hand.
I was like, who'll send this?
Great.
Great Carol Channing.
So Carol goes on tour and she's doing this forever. She does the revival in the 90s where I saw on like 2020 or 60 minutes or 48 hours, something with the number, not Inside Edition. I saw them doing a thing on her in it, and she looked like, so my ankles went out the other day. I'm having a lot of medical problems. And I couldn't walk downstairs. And so I had to hold on to the rail and kind of like jump from step to step. And essentially like how I would imagine someone who was like paraplegic would go down the stairs if they had to, or like in Misery, his legs are broken, but you got to go down the stairs. You just use your arms. That's how she came down the stairs.
Oh man! In
the Harmonia Gardens, it was a little less magic than I expected. So
it's one of those.
Yeah, one of those motorized things that takes her up and down. Hello, Harry. I missed you, Harry. I'm sorry I went too far. Turn it off.
They like swing her out like Spider-Man style.
Oh, I can't wait till we do Spider-Man. We got to do some flops soon. Ginger Rogers took over for her, then Martha Ray, and then Betty Grable. And so Kevin and I watched Betty Grable, I think, sing Before the Parade Passes By on a TV show. Bitch had one gesture, and she repeated it over and over again. It was following the parade with her hand and her eye until it went over there. So every line she was like, before the parade passes by, start over. I'm gonna start, da 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 da, start over. Before the parade, and I'm like, okay. And so I watched also. Well, I'll save it for when I get there, but I'm almost done. Don't know who Martha Ray is, but evidently she was also not as good as Carol Channing. That was in that folder that I read from the library that had reviews. It was mostly reviews of the the replacements on Broadway. And then they had
Martha Ray is.
I know the name is so familiar. Can you tell us why we know Martha Ray?
Yeah.
Fuck.
We'll hold for this. Hold
for Martha Ray, please.
Hold for Martha Ray. Hello? I'd like to speak to Martha Ray. Hold for Martha Ray.
Somebody get Martha in here.
Martha, are you still making shirt tails up there? Well, unlock the door and come down here. We want to do a show.
Can we please do your Carol Channing while we're waiting? I just need more of that.
I will never attempt it again because I nailed it once.
You fucking peaked.
She was in Alice and Puff and Stuff.
Oh, HR, Puffin' Stuff. He's the friend when things get rough.
She was the female Bob Hope, is what it says.
The female Bob Hope. That poor thing. Okay, so Martha Ray, household name still, to this day. So then David Merrick has this really great idea to do an all-black cast, which always reminds me of the funny line in Ruthless, which essentially every show that we're ever talking about is parodied somehow in Ruthless. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, it's a great show.
And then she goes, and then I got an offer to be in the all-white cast of the all-black version of Hello, Dolly. I jumped on it. And it was actually controversial, not for, like, I don't want to go see an all-black cast, like, I'm white and I hate that. But instead, some people were like, is that exploitation?
Right.
Is this a kind of minstrelsy?
Oh, no.
Is this exoticism? But regardless, it was fantastic. Pearl Bailey was evidently amazing.
Pearl.
Cab Calloway as Horace Vandergelder. And then my friend Pi Douglas was in the chorus. And he said that seeing the parade come out, but it being all people of color, was a moving experience for some people. This is before the Wiz. This is in 1967, I think, around then. So, there were all black musicals, still very few. Then Phyllis Diller did it. And were we talking about her the other day?
Yes, our last show.
Yeah, so she did some music theater. But they closed it out with Ethel Merman, again, coming back and singing all that stuff.
And all that stuff.
But you just think of a woman who's kind of like C-list or better, and then type in the words hello and Dolly after her name, you will find footage of her doing it. I found footage of Nell Carter doing it. Give me a break, yeah, 'cause I sure need one, Dolly. Chisholm. This will be an educational resource for children in theater classes in the future.
Chisholm 101.
Last thing I'll talk about, and then I'll be done, is the movie. Carol and Barbara were friends because while Hello Dolly was running, Funny Girl was running. And so they became friends with those two things going on. They were, in friendly competition for the Tony.
Yeah.
Carol gets it, and then Barbara runs out going, they're all anti-Semitic. And then Carol Channing writes in her thing, she goes, it's Semitic. I don't know. That's the best comeback she has to that. But now they're not friends, and they really hate each other because Barbara wanted it because it became even bigger than Funny Girl. Hello Dolly was the longest running musical ever. It hadn't reached that, but it was that kind of blockbuster success. And Barbara was like, I want it. I want the movie part. I'll do whatever it takes with Elliot Gould and Sue Mengers, played by Bette Midler in that play, to get it. And so that destroyed their friendship.
It's a great play.
And then at one point in her book, Carol Channing says, but now I can say it was the biggest loss 20th Century Fox ever had. I could find nothing to back that up. I believe it was a big loss, but I found nothing to back that up. Wouldn't it be something like, what was that bad sci-fi movie, John, the one that lost $250 million?
No.
Yeah, it's something
John
like...
Wick?
Not
No.
John Wick. Whatever.
He's looking to Kevin. Will you fact check this?
Will you fact check?
This half thought.
John, just search John.
Google
Kevin,
it.
Google John. See what comes up. John, Carol Channing, clitoricist. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to say where we're going to lose all of the listeners that we have left if they've stayed to us to this moment through this wacky 2-hour. John Carter lost a huge amount of money.
I googled that bad sci-fi movie, John.
See? Thank you, Kevin. John Carter lost more money than Hello Dolly.
$200 million.
$200 million. I don't even have one. $100 million. One. But anyway, here's what I'm going to say where people are going to disagree with me, and I'm comfortable enough to say that being a millennial, this is how I feel because I'm a younger person, and this is the world I've been exposed to.
Oh.
The movie is superior to the musical.
Oh, wait, did you see this revival, though?
I saw this revival.
If you're pulling the millennial card? Oh, wow, and you still think movie over...
I still think, and Kevin does too.
Wow. Honestly, I'll rewatch the movie because I haven't seen it since...
Barbara Streisand
long time ago.
is still allowing herself to be funny as fuck. She's funny in Funny Girl. She's funny in What's Up, Doc. She's still funny in this. But she's also showing us what it's like when someone sings the role. Remember, Carol Channing was not a singer. And so, yeah, they rearranged and reorchestrated everything to incredible heights, including call back to Ruthless. Marvin Laird, that wrote the music for Ruthless, was one of the either arrangers or orchestrators for Hello Dolly the movie. Small world. And they're far superior to the stage versions. They're incredible. Sunday Close moves me to tears every time. And we won't come home on. Well, you get the point.
Yeah.
Well, I will admit that she's completely miscast as a widow of middle age. So it's a little bit different. It's like this really great movie about this really vivacious young woman who's able to make all of these things happen. And then there's these breaks where she's like loses her mind for a minute and talks to a dead person like she's secretly old. That's the way I look at it. It's a sci-fi movie. Interesting fact. So you know that it's always a red dress that Dolly comes down the stairs in? Mm-hmm. Barbara wouldn't wear red. She was like, all those Dollys are already wearing red. I will not wear what they're already wearing. Put me in gold. So that's why she wears gold with those green and gold feathers at the top of her head. Course. And that red pile of hair on her head. It's so beautiful. It's crazy. Evidently, she was just awful on set. And it adds those two great songs, Love is Only Love, which she sings while brushing her hair in her apartment, which was a song cut from Mame that they put in for this. Cool. And then they replaced the opening of I Put My Hand in There with Just Leave Everything to Me, which is... If you want your body, just leave everything to me. Charming social introductions, expert mandolin instructions, just leave everything to me. And torso pounded for a rather modest fee. That song. I like that song.
Now do it as Carol Channing.
Yeah, now Carol.
I'm never trying Carol Channing again. Because that was the first time I tried Carol Channing and I got it right. And so...
phenomenal.
And so having Hello Dolly in our life just always makes me think of that one line from it. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? The answer is no. Existence is suffering. I've said it before. And capitalism is running amok and destroying the world. What are you doing, Cornelius Hackle, to fix that, Barnaby Tucker? They're really the two that should have fixed it. Oh, so the play that it's based on that's like, that... Virale Mishfakin.
Sure.
That story that's constantly redone is about two guys having a day on the town while their boss is away. So that was the original story. Then they add in the boss, and then they add in Dolly, and then they're like, everybody else, be quiet. It's all about this new lady. So eventually, someday, somebody will redo this, and it'll be all about... No, I don't know. The horse.
The vaudeville gals.
Of course.
In the horse.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, YouTube, and Instagram. And write to us at sundayintheheightswithdolly@gmail.com.